Today, we're diving headfirst into a debate as old as time, or at least as old as the War of 1812, which is better, American or Canadian life. Buckle up because we're about to compare these two North American titans. We'll be your guide through this comedic clash of cultures. From the bustling streets of New York City to the serene landscapes of Banff National Park, we'll leave no stone unturned, no stereotype unexamined. Get ready to laugh, think, and maybe even question everything you thought you knew about our neighbors to the north, and maybe even ourselves. So grab your poutine or your deep dish pizza and let's get started. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the moose on the hockey rink. We've all heard the stereotypes. Americans, loud workaholics obsessed with freedom and firearms. Canadians, polite, apologetic, and always up for a game of hockey. But are these stereotypes just lazy generalizations, or is there a kernel of truth to them? We're going to dissect these perceptions and see what sticks. Because let's face it, nothing is more hilarious than cultural misunderstandings, except maybe a bear riding a unicycle while singing Celine Dion. So prepare to have your preconceived notions challenged, your funny bone tickled, and your thirst for knowledge quenched. This is the American versus Canadian lifestyle. Let's do this. First up, let's talk about the good old US of A. We've got the American dream, that beautiful, unattainable myth that keeps people working themselves to the bone for a shot at something. Is it happiness? Financial security? Owning a house before you're 80? Who knows? The point is, the pressure is on. From a young age, Americans are taught that success equals hustle, and anything less is, well, un-American. This leads to a culture where taking a vacation is seen as weakness, and burnout is practically a badge of honor. But hey, at least we have freedom, right? Freedom to choose from 37 different brands of cereal, freedom to go bankrupt from medical bills, and the freedom to endlessly debate whether it's soda or pop. The point is, America is a land of contradictions, and its lifestyle reflects that. Now let's hop over to Canada, shall we? Imagine a place where people say sorry more often than excuse me, where the national sport involves sticks and frozen ponds, and where healthcare doesn't cost an arm and a leg, unless you're playing hockey, of course. Canada often gets romanticized as America's more polite, less chaotic sibling. And sure, there's a certain charm to a country where even the geese apologize after attacking you for a stray French fry. But is life in the Great White North really all it's cracked up to be? Well, there's the whole living next door to the loudest, most unpredictable neighbor on the planet thing. And let's not forget the long, dark winters, the exorbitant housing prices in major cities, and the ever-present threat of maple syrup overload. The perils of perception and why we should care. So, we've got two seemingly different lifestyles, each with its own set of pros and cons. But here's the thing about stereotypes and cultural comparisons. They're often based on superficial observations and sweeping generalizations. The truth is, both American and Canadian societies are incredibly diverse. You've got your urbanites and your rural dwellers, your liberals and your conservatives, your Tim Hortons devotees and your Starbucks fanatics. So why bother comparing these two countries at all? Well, because it's fun for starters, but also because examining the perceived differences between cultures can help us understand our own values and assumptions better. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that our way is the best way, or the only way, but by stepping outside of our own cultural bubble, even if it's just through the lens of a satirical news show, we can gain a fresh perspective and maybe, just maybe, learn a thing or two. Rise and grind, the American hustle. All right, folks, let's dive into the deep end of the American lifestyle pool. Imagine this. Your alarm goes off at 6 a.m., but it's not the gentle chirping of birdsong. No, it's the jarring sound of an air horn because, in America, even our alarm clocks believe in tough love. You drag yourself out of bed, already feeling behind because, let's face it, you went to bed scrolling through social media, comparing yourself to everyone else's seemingly perfect lives. But there's no time for existential dread now. You've got a capitalist system to fuel. You gulp down a breakfast of champions, which in this case means a protein bar, while simultaneously checking emails and rushing out the door. Traffic brutal, work demanding. But hey, at least you have your ambition and your venti iced latte with extra espresso shots to get you through the day. Work till you drop, the glorification of busy. In the United States, busy is practically a badge of honor. Asking someone, "How are you?" is less a genuine inquiry and more of a social cue to launch into a detailed account of how overworked and sleep-deprived they are. We're a nation that celebrates the grind, the hustle, the relentless pursuit of something. Whether it's a bigger paycheck, a corner office, or simply avoiding the dreaded label of underachiever, Americans are conditioned to believe that downtime is for the weak. This always-on mentality can be exhilarating, but it also takes its toll. Burnout is rampant. Work-life balance is a mythical creature, and the pressure to succeed can be suffocating. But hey, at least we have our Black Friday sales and our drive-through everything to make us feel momentarily alive in the midst of all the chaos, right?
Socializing American style, from backyard BBQs to Super Bowl parties. Now, lest you think Americans are all work and no play, let's talk about our social lives. From backyard barbecues to Super Bowl parties, we do love a good gathering. We're a melting pot of cultures after all, and that diversity is reflected in our social customs and celebrations. We're a nation that loves to entertain and be entertained. We flock to concerts, sporting events, and movie theaters with an enthusiasm that would make even the most introverted Canadian blush. And let's not forget about our obsession with reality TV, a guilty pleasure perhaps, but one that provides endless fodder for water cooler conversations. But even our social lives can be tinged with a sense of competition. From keeping up with the Joneses' latest vacation photos on Instagram to throwing the most elaborate birthday parties for our kids, there's an underlying pressure to impress and outdo.
The pursuit of happiness. Is it all just a dream? So, is the American lifestyle all it's cracked up to be? Well, that depends on who you ask. We've got freedom and opportunity, yes, but also inequality and a relentless pressure to succeed. We're a nation of contradictions, driven by a relentless pursuit of happiness that often feels just out of reach. But here's the thing. The American spirit is nothing if not optimistic. We're a nation of dreamers and doers, constantly striving for something better, and who knows? Maybe, just maybe, we'll figure it all out someday. But in the meantime, we'll keep chasing that elusive American dream, fueled by coffee, ambition, and the unshakable belief that anything is possible, even if it means sacrificing sleep, sanity, and a healthy work-life balance along the way. Oh, Canada, where the pace is a little more glacial. All right, let's trade in our star-spangled banner for a moment and venture north, shall we? To Canada, land of breathtaking landscapes, polite moose, and a national anthem that's basically a love letter to, well, Canada. Here, life moves at a different pace. Imagine, if you will, a world where people hold doors open for strangers, apologize profusely for minor inconveniences, and say please and thank you more often than a toddler on a sugar high. Welcome to Canada. Welcome to. Gone is the frenetic energy of American life, replaced by a more laid-back, almost European vibe. Don't get us wrong, Canadians work hard, but there's a greater emphasis on work-life balance, on enjoying the simple things, like a good cup of Tim Hortons coffee or a stroll through a snowy forest. Section 2. Work-life balance, an actually achievable concept. In Canada, the concept of work-life balance isn't just a distant fantasy whispered about in hushed tones. It's a way of life. Canadians, you see, have this radical notion that work shouldn't consume every waking hour of their existence. They believe in things like weekends, vacations, and not just the 2-day staycation kind, and spending quality time with loved ones without constantly checking their work email. Shocking, we know. Now, this isn't to say that Canadians are slackers. They're just better at setting boundaries, at recognizing that there's more to life than climbing the corporate ladder. And that, my friends, is a beautiful thing. Socializing Canadian style, from hockey games to, well, more hockey games. So if Canadians aren't working themselves to the bone, how do they spend their free time? Well, when they're not busy being unfailingly polite to each other, they're probably at a hockey game, watching a hockey game on TV, or discussing hockey with the same level of passion and intensity that Americans reserve for political debates. Hockey, you see, is more than just a sport in Canada. It's practically a religion. It's a unifying force that brings people together from all walks of life, a shared passion that transcends language, culture, and even regional rivalries. Well, mostly. But Canadians also know how to have fun beyond the rink. They enjoy their fair share of festivals, concerts, and cultural events. They embrace the great outdoors, whether it's hiking in the Rockies, camping under the stars, or simply enjoying a picnic in the park. The Canadian dream: contentment, kindness, and really good poutine. So what is the Canadian dream then? Is it the same as the American dream, just with more maple syrup and fewer guns? Not quite. While the pursuit of happiness is a universal goal, Canadians seem to define happiness a little differently. It's not about amassing wealth or achieving external validation. It's about living a good life, surrounded by loved ones, in a country that values peace, equality, and a healthy dose of self-deprecation. It's about saying sorry even when you're not at fault and meaning it. It's about embracing diversity, celebrating differences, and always holding the door open for the person behind you. And yes, it's about having access to affordable healthcare and a social safety net that catches you when you fall. But more than anything, it's about a sense of community, a shared belief that we're all in this together, eh? The great food face-off, Poutine versus Philly cheesesteaks. All right, let's talk food, people. Because nothing exposes the delicious underbelly of cultural differences quite like a good old-fashioned food fight. In this corner, representing the red, white, and very cheesy, we have Poutine. This Canadian delicacy is not for the faint of heart or arteries. It's a glorious mess of carbs, fat, and sheer indulgence that will leave you feeling both deeply satisfied and slightly ashamed of yourself. But hey, that's what sorry is for, right? And in the opposing corner, representing the land of the free and the home of the brave, to eat anything apparently, we have the Philly cheesesteak. This American icon is a testament to our love of meat, cheese, and sandwiches that could double as a bicep workout. It's a symphony of flavors and textures, best enjoyed with a side of Cheese Whiz and a healthy dose of skepticism about the nutritional information. So, which dish reigns supreme? It's a tough call, folks. Do you prefer your heart attack on a plate to be smothered in gravy or slathered in cheese? It's a culinary conundrum for the ages. Work hard, play hard, or just work hard, eh? Now let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the overworked intern hiding in the break room. We've established that Americans love to work, but do they know how to relax? Canadians, on the other hand, seem to have mastered the art of chilling out, but are they secretly judging our inability to unplug? The American work hard, play hard mentality suggests a certain imbalance, a frenetic energy that permeates both our professional and personal lives. We work long hours, take fewer vacations, and often feel guilty for simply existing outside the realm of productivity. Canadians, on the other hand, seem to have cracked the code to a more sustainable existence. They work to live, not live to work. They prioritize family, friends, and leisure time, recognizing that a fulfilling life requires more than just a fat paycheck. So, who's got it right? Well, that depends on your priorities, your values, and your tolerance for stress-induced heart palpitations. But one thing's for sure, we could all learn a thing or two from each other's approach to work-life balance, or lack thereof. Whose entertainment reigns supreme? All right, let's talk entertainment, because what's a good cultural comparison without a little bit of showmanship? Americans, with their Hollywood blockbusters and Broadway extravaganzas, certainly know how to put on a show. From the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas to the gritty realism of independent films, American entertainment runs the gamut. We've got something for everyone, whether you're into superhero movies, stand-up comedy, or reality TV that makes you question the very fabric of reality. But what about Canada, you ask? Surely they have more to offer than just hockey games and Celine Dion concerts, right? Well, hold on to your toques, folks, because Canada's got a few entertainment tricks up its sleeve too. From world-renowned Cirque du Soleil performances to thriving local music scenes, Canada boasts a vibrant and diverse arts and culture landscape. They've got award-winning authors, critically acclaimed filmmakers, and musicians who are slowly but surely taking over the airwaves. So, who takes the entertainment crown? It's a close call, folks. But ultimately, it's a win-win situation. Whether you're catching a Broadway show in New York City or enjoying a folk music festival in Nova Scotia, North America knows how to entertain. The verdict: is there a clear winner? So, after all that, who wins the ultimate North American lifestyle showdown? Is it the go-getting, ambition-fueled world of the United States, or the more laid-back, sorry-not-sorry vibe of Canada? Well, folks, as with most things in life, there's no easy answer. It's like comparing apples and, well, maple syrup. They're both delicious in their own right, but they appeal to different tastes. The American dream, with its emphasis on individual achievement and material success, might sound appealing to some, while the Canadian dream, with its focus on community, work-life balance, and universal healthcare, might resonate more with others. The truth is, both lifestyles have their pros and cons. It all boils down to what you value most in life. Do you crave the excitement and opportunity of a fast-paced, competitive environment? Or do you prefer a more relaxed, community-oriented lifestyle where you can actually afford to see a doctor when you're sick? embracing the differences. Why comparisons can be crappy. Now, before you grab your pitchforks and declare your undying allegiance to one country or the other, let's remember something important. Comparisons, while fun and often hilarious, can also be pretty darn crappy. We've spent the past however many minutes poking fun at the stereotypes and cultural quirks that make Americans and Canadians unique. But let's not forget that these are just broad generalizations, and generalizations rarely capture the full complexity of human experience. Within both the United States and Canada, you'll find an incredible diversity of people, cultures, values, and lifestyles. To paint either country with a single brushstroke would be a disservice to the richness and complexity of the human tapestry that makes up North America.
The real North American dream, finding your own version of awesome. So instead of trying to crown a winner in this epic battle of lifestyles, maybe it's time to shift our perspective a bit. Maybe the real North American dream isn't about choosing sides, but about embracing the best of both worlds.
Maybe it's about finding a balance between the American spirit of ambition and the Canadian value of community. Maybe it's about working hard, but also knowing when to unplug and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Maybe it's about embracing diversity, celebrating our differences, and recognizing that we're all in this crazy, messy, wonderful thing called life together. Ultimately, the best lifestyle is the one that brings you joy, fulfillment, and a sense of purpose. Whether you find that in the bustling streets of New York City or the serene mountains of British Columbia, the choice is yours. So go forth, my fellow North Americans, and live your best lives. Just don't forget to say sorry if you bump into someone along the way, eh? All right, you glorious viewers, you've sat through our ramblings about Americans and Canadians. Now it's your turn. Tell us in the comments below, which lifestyle do you find more appealing? Are you team cheesesteak or team poutine? And hey, while you're at it, let us know what other cultural clashes you'd like to see us dissect. Should we pit British tea time against Italian espresso breaks? Or maybe compare Australian beach culture to Icelandic hot springs etiquette? The possibilities are as endless as the line at a Canadian healthcare clinic. Sorry, we had to. So hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, because freedom, and let's keep this conversation going. After all, the world is a big, weird, wonderful place, and exploring our differences is half the fun. Just remember, be kind, be respectful, and most importantly, be funny. We're all in this together, eh?